Hello. Today's the 19th of January. This is my third journal entry for the year. And today I want to talk about DCA, otherwise known as dollar cost averaging. And if you don't know what it is, dollar cost averaging is the practice of systematically investing equal amounts of money at regular intervals, regardless of what the price is in the market. So for example, instead of me investing, say I wanted to invest a total of $1,200 this year, I wouldn't invest that immediately into the market, but rather I would invest $100 every month, for example. And then by the end of the year, I would have a total investment of $1,200. And the habit or the practice of DCA has been one of the most difficult habits that I've ever developed because of FOMO, because of when you... Let me share with you a common scenario that I experienced. So for example, when the markets go up, I get really excited. And instead of dollar cost averaging, I go, oh, everything's going great. I'm going to put a massive lump sum in. So I'll put a massive lump sum in when the market goes up. And then inevitably at some point, the market starts to go back down. And then when it goes back down, instead of dollar cost averaging down, when I see it go down, I go, oh no, this is really bad. I'm not going to continue to dollar cost average. So when it hits all-time lows, what happens to me is I go, oh my goodness, it's going to go to zero. So what do? I buy on the way up, I buy bulk on the way up, and I sell bulk on the way down. So what that means is I end up losing a lot of money. And it's taken me multiple cycles of this happening for me to truly understand the value of dollar cost averaging. Because even Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of our time, he says that even the greatest day traders don't outperform someone who just dollar cost averages. And again, that just means the person's buying a consistent amount, regardless of price, at regular intervals. And it's only been, I think, in the last 3-4 years that I've been able to just completely stick to the practice of dollar cost averaging. And I've completely outperformed myself from beyond 4 years ago. And this is really not a post to say, look at how brilliant of an investor I am. I still think I suck. But more than this, what it's made me think a lot about, and the reason for this journal entry, is that how or where else can you apply DCA in your life? And it just made me think of dollar cost averaging as being one of the most profound lessons that I've ever come across that can apply to every single area of my life. For example, health. There is a version of DCA for health as well, right? And again, I kind of yo-yo with my diet and my weight fluctuates up and down and it annoys the hell out of me, but it's because I don't apply DCA when it comes to health. For example, I will go on a crash diet and then because I go on this crash diet and completely eliminate sugar and carbs from my diet and I stick to it 100%, then by the end of that month, I freak out, I panic, and then I now crave certain foods and I crave something, and then I just binge eat. And then I put all the way back on, and it's kind of that on and off, on and off, on and off, over and over and over again. And as I reflected on that, I kind of go, hey, that kind of maps or follows the same pattern as when I used to invest. You know, I would invest at the top, sell at the bottom, right? I would crash diet and then binge eat. This year, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to DCA when it comes to my health. I'm going to try to, at regular intervals, regardless of what my motivation levels are, engage in exercise. I'm going to, at regular intervals, eat healthy, and I'm going to do it regardless of how I feel. And I think that behavior of dollar cost averaging, I really think it can be applied to so many different areas of our lives. I think it's finance, I think it's health, I think it's even with the relationships. You know, I used to do the same thing with relationships, and I'll call myself out on this one with my mum and my dad, two of the most important people in my life. And what I would do is I would go extended periods of times without seeing them, and this is me, this is my example here, is I wouldn't see them for all of October, November, and then December kind of comes around, because October, November are really busy in my business. And then all of a sudden December comes around, and then I over-index during that time to spend time with them, right? And then I won't see them all of January, all of February kind of thing. And if you think about it, if dollar cost averaging in the financial markets bring about the greatest returns from a financial sense, how about the returns you get from a relationship? How about all the wonderful benefits we get from a relationship if we dollar cost average and invest on in a frequent interval into these relationships? What would we get back from it? I think we'll get a lot. I think the returns will far outweigh massive investments of time infrequently. It's really interesting as I start to apply this mindset of DCA into other areas of my life. It's going to change the way I live this year. And I guess I'm making a bit of an assumption here, but I believe that by dollar cost averaging into these relationships that mean a lot to me, by dollar cost averaging into my health, by dollar cost averaging into my children, into my wife, I believe I believe that this year may be the year that I experience the highest ROI in all areas of my life. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe by the end of this year, I'll be like, oh crap, everyone, bad investment advice, don't do this. But I have a feeling that I'm right. What do you think? I'd love to hear from you.